and gentlemen, make some noise. I hope you guys are ready. It is playoff time.
After all the hours, the weeks, the months, it's time. The journey to the grand finals rolls on.
I'm going all the way. I'm going. Yeah, my blood is rebel. I'm going all the way. I'm going to another level.
Oh, what is this?
That is brutal.
This guy is an absolute maniac.
This is absolutely insane. And the rock stars of the Overwatch League continue to crank out power chords. Oh, snipe.
You got rocked.
It's the playoffs, baby. So strap in as only the best of the best remain.
I'm going all the way. I'm going. Yeah, my blood is rebel.
We know it won't be easy to hold that trophy, to wear that crown, but if you want it, come and get it. You want more playoffs? We got you, Overwatch fans. We are live in Los Angeles for day 2 of our double elimination playoffs, where 3 more teams will make their postseason debuts today. The reigning 2018 Grand Finals champions are in the building. The London Spitfire have won 7 straight postseason matches, including an 8-map epic against Shanghai last week. Now they'll take on our number 2 overall seed. The New York Excelsior may be our 2nd seed, but the Atlantic Division champs are coming off their worst stage in team history, and doubt remain about their playoff prowess. This match is just 30 minutes away. Welcome to the Watchpoint pre-show presented by State Farm. I'm Malik Forte, joined as always by Zoe, Brent, and Sideshow. Day 2 is in store for us, guys. You ready? Ready to do this?
I mean, do we have a choice?
I mean, yeah.
I'm kind of here already, right?
What do you
I'm
mean,
ready.
do we have a choice?
What an optimistic way of looking
I know, right?
Here, getting started.
I know,
I
but I'm
was just
pretty hyped.
wondering what would happen if I'm like, no, I'm not ready. Will we like cancel the show?
Yep, push it back another hour.
Real quick, I just want to take a second to give me and Brent a shout out because we have perfect brackets right now.
Exactly.
Perfect brackets.
Only people who know
okay.
broken
Mine
brackets.
got
us.
doubly destroyed yesterday. The 2 teams that I had faith with are now in the
To
lower
be fair,
bracket.
though, wait, you have both wrong?
Oh,
Yeah, you
both
got
wrong.
both.
Oh,
both
I'm
wrong.
on
You're only one wrong,
Yeah,
but again, we are perfect.
I think
so.
though that this just
Okay.
says that the playoffs, they're unpredictable.
Very
Anything can
unpredictable.
happen, this kind of stuff. It doesn't
Right.
mean that I'm
Yep.
an idiot.
Right. With that,
Fingers
what you
crossed
said.
that my bracket can stay on track today. But guys, we are hyped to get day 2 of the playoffs underway. We'll take a look at NYXL's dominant yet often confusing path to the number 2 overall seed as we join Doha Fireside for a dramatic account of the mighty Excelsior season. Plus, the London Spitfire were relieved to say the least when they survived that match against Shanghai. Is this the beginning of a run all the way back to the grand finals? The Spitfire think it might be. London will face New York in our first match today before the number 6 seeded Atlanta Reign face off with the San Francisco Shock. Remember, this is double elimination, so the 2 teams that fall today will head to our losers bracket, and the winners will play each other on Sunday. The Atlanta Reign and the San Francisco Shock are no strangers to winning lately. Both teams went undefeated in our final stage of the season. Atlanta has won 9 straight, while the Shock have won 8 straight regular season matches, and the Shock won the only head-to-head match they played this season. But there's more to the history between the Reign and the Shock. Atlanta's head coach Brad Reggiani was the Shock's coach last season until he was replaced by the current coach Krusty. And after not playing a map for the San Francisco Shock all of stage 1, Baby Bay was traded to the Atlanta Reign, where he's helped them get all the way to the postseason. So how prepared will the Reign be to get some revenge today, in your opinion, Zoe?
I mean, I expect them to be super prepared, not
Biased.
just because of all the history, not because I'm a mega fan. It also has something to do with what they actually tweeted. Their head coach, Brad, tweeted out that right before our homestand in LA, they actually haven't been preparing for that last week of matches. Instead, they had their eyes on Sigma, on that patch. They wanted to come in prepared. They wanted to use those extra days to get some additional, practice time in. So this is what they focused on. It worked out for them. They did win both of their matches during the homestand here in LA, and also gave us already a little bit of a glimpse of what we might be seeing, as we did see Baby Bay, for example, on that Symmetra. So that, leaves us wanting more. We want to see more of that. We want to see how prepared they are. I will be very disappointed very, very disappointed if they would look anything but good in this meta.
Well, these are the two undefeated teams from Stage 4 that will be going up against each other. And I'm interested, actually, to see who picks up the Symmetra, because Erster's been playing a lot of that in ranked play as well. And this guy, Erster, is just phenomenal. What a star player he has turned out to be. His Brigitte was excellent all season long. Then when he made the shift over to the 2-2-2 meta, where he could flex on damage dealers, his Reaper was very, very good. Mei, outstanding. His Hanzo, excellent. His Pharah has been pretty good. His Genji is insane. He is truly one of our all-star, superstar players that we have in the league. And he's only just now being able to show a lot of it. And in the postseason, I'm expecting huge things from Erster.
Erster is indeed a jack of all trades. Now, the Shock are in their second season, but it's only their first postseason appearance, right, Bryn? So how can they counter Erster in the rain?
Well, it's going to be tough because, as Josh has already pointed out, Erster is kind of nutty on a lot of roles.
Yes.
And I mean, it doesn't matter what he's going to be playing. You know he's going to be playing it to a very high level. But the one recurring theme we've seen so far in the playoffs is a lot of Doomfist usage, which Erster, we've seen him play it. He's got a pretty good Doomfist on him. But luckily, the Shock do have somebody who can counter that. And it's this guy on your screen, Sinatra, the T-Mobile MVP of 2019. He can pull anything out of the bag, and his Doomfist has been a pocket pick for quite some time. I'm expecting some very big things from him because he is actually, I think, the only person who can play Doomfist on the star-studded lineup that the San Francisco Shock have. They got a lot of damage dealers on that bench as well, ready and waiting. So I'm expecting very big things from Sinatra. And I mean, he's no stranger to the pressure as well in these scenarios. I'm expecting him to perform.
That's going to be a marquee matchup indeed. Well, the winner of that match will take on the winner of London versus New York. The Spitfire outlasted the Shanghai Dragons to make it through our first weekend, and you'll be surprised to hear where the winner ranks for the 2018 Grand Finals MVP Profit. We'll hear from the reigning champs next on the Watchpoint Pre-Show.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile. Support your teams with the official Overwatch League Coca-Cola bottles at CokeStore.com. Ships to all 50 U.S. states, Washington, D.C., and U.S. P.O. boxes.
The London Spitfire are coming off of one of the most epic Overwatch matches of all time against the Shanghai Dragons last Saturday. It was a back-and-forth war lasting 8 maps, but in the end, it was the Spitfire who prevailed to knock the Dragons out of the play-in tournament. And when the dust settled, Jester and Prophet relieved, to say the least.
And the London Spitfire, they go all the way to the end, one final round of Ilios, but they get it in the end, 4-3.
저희가 이제 오버워치 리그 최초로 8세트 연속 경기를 하게 됐는데 8세트 연속 하니까 되게 저 팀도 피곤하고 저희 팀도 피곤해서 집중력이 서로 떨어지는데 마지막에 그래도 집중력을 조금이라도 덜 잃어서 이길 수 있었던 것 같고 그리고 뭐 그렇게 이겨서 그런가 되게 진짜 기쁜 것 같아요.
정말 정신력으로도 힘들었던 것 같아요. 솔직히 작년 결승 때보다 더 기뻤던 것 같아요. 그 순간 이겼을 때.
The Spitfire were the first team to run their main tank player on the new hero Sigma. They were able to win, but as you can see, Gesture isn't exactly rocking the house statistically so far. Obviously, it's a small sample size, but they may need a better effort on the shoeless scientists to get another win today. Gesture in London will take on our number 2 seed, the New York Excelsior, today. New York has won 5 of their previous 7 matches against London all time, including both this season. London beat New York for the Stage 1 title last season, but haven't beaten them since February of 2018. What can the Spitfire do to gain the edge this time around? Would you stop laughing so?
What's got you this time?
Yeah, I just really like the shoeless scientist.
Always something.
It's so easy to entertain me. It honestly is. Anyway, yes, Spitfire. I'm looking at that Doomfist player, Bergring. I was very positively surprised to see how well he's actually performing. We didn't know what to expect when he came out on that hero. We haven't seen him really on Doomfist prior to this. And needless to say, he looked fantastic. Even more so considering that he went up against one of the best Doomfists we have in the entire league, with Youngjin, who has been rocking out on Doom for the past few weeks. Now, Bergring held his own and then some. The big question I'm having right now is who will be playing that role on the New York Excelsior? We saw Nene, Libero, and Flower all taking turns playing or dabbling a little bit on that Doomfist, but no one really, committed to it.
Yeah.
And it is a crucial hero. It's a crucial role to field in the current meta, and someone has to step up and do it. We don't know who's that going to be. Big question mark.
Right, Doomfist so essential in this meta that we're playing right now. So the NYXL won the Atlantic Division despite a subpar Stage 4. So how confident should they be heading into the postseason right now, Bram?
It's a bit iffy, honestly, Malik. It's a bit iffy, mate. I'm not going to pull my punches. I think you should be quite worried if you're an NYXL fan, because there's a lot of parallels to last year right now when it comes to the 2018 season to this one. In fact, some even slightly worse. So the worst stage for both the years has been Stage 4. The Stage 4 record wasn't too bad. It wasn't awful, 7-3. But this year, it's a negative record in the stage. This is a first for NYXL. There's an even shorter turnaround now as well. They get less of a break to prep for this playoff patch. And last season, when they had a long time to prep, they went out in the first round. So it doesn't look great for NYXL. We're seeing a lot of ties back to last season. Now, this is the best time to prove us all wrong and break this curse, this playoff issue that's been haunting them for so long. Because they've never really been able to perform that well, like they have during the regular season. I want to see myself proved wrong today. I want to see NYXL turn up and be the team that we know that they're capable of.
And that kind of doubt, I think, is mirrored in most people's brackets. We all have them going out almost immediately in the losers brackets. But I think there is a little bit of a silver lining to this cloud for NYXL. The meta is a little bit slower. It's more about punishing people. And they've started to implement Flower. In their last couple of games, Flower has come in and he's been that explosive playmaker that the New York XL have been missing for a while. They like to play a defensive playstyle where they play around Jonak, minimize damage taken, this kind of stuff. But ever since Sabiorbi stopped playing Tracer, they've never had a player that can just clutch a fight like Flower. In the few games that we've seen of him so far, he's looked composed, he's looked able to cope with the pressure of the big stage, and he's looked incredibly mechanically skilled on his heroes. He's a player that I personally wasn't expecting to still be able to compete at the very top, because it's been a long time since we've seen this guy at this kind of level, but he's kind of been nuts. So they need to rely on big performances from Flower in the postseason if they don't want to just go straight out.
Right, Flower finally living up to the hype, though. It's been really exciting seeing him come out of his shell. But guys, the NYXL have been on the high road to the success all season long, but that doesn't mean it's been a smooth road. Our pal Doa has a way too dramatic telling of New York's curious path to the 2 seed when we return on the Watchpoint pre-show presented by State Farm.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Poco trying to get that finish on him, and he does. Drops him down. Grecian on Coma. Poco gets the finish. This is good for Philly now. Here it is, though. Thrown up, but they've already lost 2. The flank from EQO. That might be what saves Philly here. It gets in. Dio eventually removes him, though. Staying charged up now. There are plenty of barriers for him to keep that beam on. Carpe tries to step up. He gets hosed out by Dio.
Not the escape. There's the escape.
Right on through, right on the top. Hanma splattered flat. Now Eileen's gone as well. Rio's not going to be run for long either. Fizz on a murderous tear. Wiping him out.
Oh, finally some huge value from Hanma. Does get a couple onto the point, and that might just save it for Guangzhou.
Unreal. And of course it's Hanma, Hex. Of course it's Hanma.
Jack of all trades.
Exactly. He's
Master
always
of
been the
most.
guy. Back safely. The Jeffster's under pressure now. Finished off. Profit takes the out of the sky. It drops down. He nearly finds Koma. He's still chasing. He's in the back line. Profit's on a tracer, and he is wrecking your team.
You know, for all the talk about the New York Excelsior season, they lost just 6 of 28 matches en route to their second straight Atlantic Division title and the #2 seed overall in these playoffs. But a 3-4 record in the final stage has many wondering how potent this team can be here in the postseason. It's a story that's full of drama, highs and lows, and perfect for our latest edition of Master Path Theater.
Oh, good evening. I'm Eric Lundquist. Tonight, you're going to hear a story of the 2019 New York Excelsior. It's a tale about a mighty juggernaut who rises up from glory only to fall from grace. This is a story about domination and dissipation, demoralization, and perhaps other words that end with ation. Let's begin. It was a breezy Valentine's Day in early 2019, and the Overwatch world fell in love with the New York Excelsior all over again. The team that had been at the top of the league since its inception went on gallivanting through the competition en route to a spotless 7-0 first stage.
NYXL does not adhere. They don't play by the rules. Fear them. They are one of our most terrifying teams we have ever seen in any stage of Overwatch League.
But then, on an early eve in late March, the Seoul Dynasty toppled the brazen giant in the Stage 1 playoffs.
Now the NYXL in complete disarray. And Dynasty say thank you very much. We're going to the semis.
Bringing back a wave of doubt that clouded the minds of fans and foes alike because of the NYXL's previous playoff shortcomings. The mighty lads from the Empire State marched on, stacking 5 wins in Stage 2 before a pair of back-to-back losses to Atlanta left many wondering if their mojo had evaporated like a fog on a sunny morn.
Absolutely utter dominance from the rain. For New York, the streak is over. First place is no longer yours.
As the bruised bosses from New York sat enveloped in repugnance, the return of a fabled ally named Sabiobi lifted the team back to elite status in Stage 3.
And Sabiobi's return to the roster has looked very, very good after a slow start for New York.
With a new spring in their step, the Excelsior marched into battle, capturing a second undefeated stage and set on claiming their first stage championship in more than a year. But a young dragon scorched those hopes, blazing them to smithereens as Shanghai burned through the NYXL en route to a Stage 3 title of their own.
And that is it. The Shanghai Dragons are going to the semis.
A new meta in Stage 4 left the once doughty NYXL hapless, searching for answers as each match only brought about more questions.
Hard reset coming in from the New York Excel. Back to spawn with you. And it's another clean sweep.
So that's going to be bad for the NYXL.
Their previous conquests afforded them the #2 overall seed and a second Atlantic Division crown, but a 3-4 record in the league's closing quarter has pushed New York, the once unquestioned king of the league, back into the dreaded depths of doubt and pending despair.
One of the biggest things with NYXL has been, are they going to choke in playoff games?
Will they overcome the perils of Repo's tenacity, or be relegated to the murky waters of mediocrity? Only the mighty NYXL can decide, in fact, if they are mighty after all.
Magnificent stuff right there. Thanks, Doa. Here is the lineup New York thinks will be the mightiest today against London. Sabiobi and Flower in on damage for the NYXL. London also opting for guard over Birdring today. Back to New York's damage duo, though. Why might these two give New York the best chance against London today, Bryn?
I think Sabiobi, you almost want to include him because of the leadership figure that he has, or at least the leadership presence, okay? And we've seen that as well. We saw that in the turnaround throughout this season. Now, in terms of what heroes are going to run, I don't know, because it doesn't really make too much sense to me from off the top of my head in terms of what heroes they want to run. They may just try and pull something out completely new. I mean, that's what that screams to me as well, because the heroes that we've been seeing don't really fit Sabiobi's hero pool. Now, Flower I can see playing the Doomfist, but Sabiobi, a bit questionable. I definitely think they brought him in, though, because of that leadership figure that he has in the team.
I could definitely see Sabiobi playing the Reaper as well, though I don't think that'll be too far outside of his wheelhouse, and maybe you'll see him on a couple of specialist picks as well that he has there. He's got a really good McCree if he's able to pull it out, Tracer in overtime situations, you know, it might be able to get some value out of that. But generally speaking, I think it is just that leadership presence on the team.
Who do you combo with him? Like, what's optimal?
I think just the Reaper Doomfist. Like, I think Flower's going to be there on the Doomfist, and I think they're going to try and make that work for them.
Interesting. Well, so
I mean, we also have to, you know, take into account here that the first one is a control map. Maybe that's just like something entirely different. We saw a lot of teams coming out with very specialized kind of compositions, a bit more on the cheesy side to take their enemies off guard. But then maybe once we're heading into different maps, they will transition to a more standardized lineup.
All right, guys, well, we got our final thoughts on the matches coming up in just a bit. Stay tuned. We got more Watchpoint coming up in a bit.
Support your team with the official Overwatch League Coca-Cola bottles at CokeStore.com. Ships to all 50 U.S. states, Washington, D.C., and U.S. P.O. boxes. The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Here are your defending, reigning Overwatch League champions, the London Spitfire. Guard getting the call over Bird Ring today. They're going to be looking to defend that championship against the NYXL, who have the all-time record in this matchup between these two teams, but they haven't been looking the strongest lately. We'll see if they can regain their footing today against the London Spitfire. But guys, the players are praying for wins today, and we've got some prayers of our own for the Overwatch gods. It's please, can we? So, start us off.
All right, Malik, please, please. Can we have another underdog making the grand finals? How insanely awesome would that be? I'd love to see, looking at you there, Rain, someone else which people just don't expect, the Dark Horse, making it all the way on that last stretch, going through to single elimination playoffs. That girl got a dream.
Sure,
so
I love that. I want that. Make it happen.
So he's down for the Cinderella story.
For me, I mean, it's got to be, please can we just ignore the seedings from now on? Because I've seen a lot of people online, they've been making comments, they're like, are the Titans bad now? They played a close game against Seoul. No, you need to chuck that out the window. We're in a new patch in the playoffs. A lot of team strengths are pretty much equal with another. They're all on the same playing field roughly. Any team can win against any team right now in this scenario. Ignore the numbers, just come into this with like a coin flip mentality, because that's how I go about my life on a daily basis.
So Soy wants underdogs, you want coin flips, I want a repeat, I want history. Please can we get the Shock playing against the Titans again? I want that rivalry that we've had all year long. The Stage 1 finals, the Stage 2 finals, they were so good. I don't care where in the bracket it is, I want the Shock to play against the Titans in another amazing clash.
All right, I love it. I can get with that. I feel that. Well, we told you yesterday that we filled out our complete winners and losers brackets. We've already had 2 matches, and you heard us kind of bickering about it at the top of the show. So let's see how everyone made out on the first day. So you guys can see
Bickering? It was just you
visually
bracketing,
here.
excuse me.
This is Zoe's bracket. Zoe, 1 for 1. Not bad. Not
Yeah,
bad.
I mean, to be fair, though, the Gladiator Sparking could have gone either way. That was a close one, which, you know, in my defense.
All right, yeah, all right. And today she's got the Spitfire and the Shock to move on. Looking ahead, Zoe has the Shock going all the way to win the grand finals, including 2 wins against the Vancouver Titans. Brent had a great day 1, scoring correct picks with the Titans and the LA Gladiators. Brent also has the Shock and the Spitfire today, and we're seeing a trend with people picking the NYXL to lose their first 2 matches and get knocked straight out the playoffs. Brent has the Spitfire coming out of the losers bracket, but the Shock winning it all. Sideshow, well, it's early, but he's 0-2 for after day 1. But he's also got New York going 2 and done. And even though he missed the Titans pick yesterday, his final is still intact with Vancouver coming out of the losers bracket to lose to the Shock.
Anyone can win.
And here's mine. Yeah, I picked brackets too, okay? I'm also perfect so far. My bracket looks similar to Bryn's, but I went against the grain and picked the London Spitfire to win their 2nd straight Grand Finals championship. I had to be a contrarian.
That is bold.
A losers bracket finalist.
That would be so good.
That's ridiculous.
But guys,
it never happens.
Yeah, we have to talk
We've
about
never had double a limb before, Brent.
But just in terms of sports history, it's so rare for that to happen.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that. And we all pick NYXL to go straight out. That's crazy. That's crazy. But guys, we got more matches coming soon. That's it for the Watchpoint pre-show. We'll see you in a bit.